Welcome back. A new sponsor will be displayed on the Fiji Sevens team jerseys when the national side runs out in their first pool match against New Zealand this Friday. Fiji One News can confirm that a brand new set of jerseys are now being rushed to the national side in Wellington. This is expected to arrive tomorrow. And this is despite the threat of legal action against the FRU by former sponsors Digicel last week. FRU chairman Filimone Wangambada says, quote, "The board of the Fiji Rugby Union is very pleased to announce that after careful consideration, a lucrative 5-year sponsorship contract has been signed. Given the importance of rugby as a unifying force in the nation, it is critical that we secure a sponsorship that will strengthen and develop the status of Fiji rugby further. The board is excited about this partnership, details of which will be announced later," unquote. That announcement is expected later this week before the Wellington Sevens kicks off. The International Rugby Board's opinion has shifted on Fiji's ability to host future international sevens tournaments. Previously, IRB turned down Fiji's bid, but there seems to be a change of heart on their part.
The Fiji rugby public has been boosted with news that if all goes to plan, it could be hosting a leg of the IRB 7 series from 2015.
We've gone out to all of our member unions, including Fiji as well, to see if there's interest in hosting a leg of the tournament. If a union is interested, then they should send a letter of expression of interest, and then we'll send the full tender. So we have to do that process this year, and we would know in October time if we will have new tournaments for the starting 2015-16.
And the good news doesn't end there. If Fiji is successful in its bid, then it could also be hosting the next Sevens World Cup.
If a union wants to do both, or just focus on the Rugby World Cup Sevens in 2018, then they can send that letter back saying what they want to do.
According to IRB Sevens Operations Manager Beth Coulter, Fiji stands a strong chance but needs some improvements done.
You need a good organisation to be able to host it. You need a stable organisation, and I hope I think the Fiji Rugby Sevens team, it would be great to have a tournament for them in their home country.
IRB has also been informed on a new developments done back home in Fiji after failing to impress the officials during the Fiji International Sevens.
And I understand there's a new hotel that's coming online, which would be perfect to take all of the teams, and then you've got the facilities to do it.
With the prospects of Fiji hosting a leg of the IRB 7 series and even the Sevens World Cup, Fijians also can get the opportunity to witness performances of players they have only seen on TV screens so far. Irfan Khan in Wellington for Fiji One News.
Fiji Sevens team went through their last strength training this morning at the City Fitness Centre, which is partly owned by current All Blacks brothers Ben and Owen Franks. The players worked on strength to see them last the 2 tough days of the tournament starting Friday.
Fiji Sevens team hit the gym early this morning at the City Fitness Centre in preparation for the Wellington Sevens this weekend.
Midweek, it's about getting their testosterone levels up and giving them a bit of a blowout before the tournament, get their system working again. So there's science behind this as well.
First, it was high intensity and short duration training, which helps players building up to testosterone in their system to help them with energy levels for the tournament. Fiji has always high hopes from these players who will be carrying the weight of an entire nation on their shoulders.
It's a little bit tough for us. Some new kinds of trainings, and I know that the boys have done well this morning.
Then it was followed by a max strength power session. This will surely be needed as Fiji tries to negotiate through a tough pool which includes New Zealand, France and Spain.
From last week and this week, the boys are recovering well, so we prepare ourselves for the tournament this weekend.
I have been witnessing the grueling training session Coach Ben Ryan has been taking the players through behind me. It is obvious the players are really trying hard to bring back the lost glory.
This was just about some power and some and a bit of a blowout, and the instructors were outstanding doing that for us.
They finished in the gym with right class to help the players in cardio fitness building lower body strength. and players were enjoying every moment of it.
Yeah, once they just get their head down and work, and then they can get that endorphin rush, then they're in a good place. They're working hard.
Yeah, firstly, we're just training ourselves. We're just looking forward for our first game on this pool. We're not looking for the next game or the quarterfinal. We're just looking forward for the first game. We're moving on until we finish our pool game this weekend.
The players rested after this session and took on Wales in a scrimmage session this afternoon. Irfan Khan in Wellington for Fiji One News.
The fifth round of the IRB World Series has taken on extra importance to New Zealand after their 14-7 final loss to new tournament leaders South Africa in Las Vegas. There's no doubt New Zealand are desperate to reassert themselves at the Westpac Stadium, where they've enjoyed some memorable victories.
New Zealand Sevens captain DJ Forbes hopes his team will make a similar splash by winning the Sevens event on home soil this weekend. Coach Gordon Tidgens took the team through another grueling training session which ended with a swim in the sea.
So far so good. Titch is pretty old school, so he's, in terms of training, he's treating it as a first tournament. Usually, the Wellington Vegas setup was always Wellington first, so obviously, take a little bit of confidence from Vegas, but here on our home soil, we know everyone wants to try and spoil the party.
Swimming in the sea helps players remove lactic acid and also helps them in blood circulation. The players looked relaxed, although it seemed like their home crowd will have high expectations.
We always want to do well here in front of our family and friends, and I guess the expectation on your home soil to win is always there.
Even Forbes, he realizes how the tough pool is for the New Zealand side.
The good thing about our pool is having them in, having a tough pool, will definitely make sure that we've got our A game throughout to even give us a chance to make a cup quarter.
Their seriousness is demonstrated by the return of star playmaker Tomasi Dama and Sherwin Stowers in the team. However, crowd support will definitely be needed by the team at the Cake Tin.
We take it as, motivation rather than pressure when the Westpac Stadium is cheering us on.
Despite not winning the last three tournaments in the IRB 7 series, with home crowd advantage, New Zealand will again go into the tournament as favourites. Irfan Khan in Wellington for Fiji One News.
Meanwhile, Australian Sevens coach Michael O'Connor says his players will have to lift their game in order to do well in the Wellington tournament. O'Connor, relaxing at the team's hotel in the main city, admitted his side has not been doing well this season. He hopes they can turn things around this weekend.
Fortunately, we have no injuries coming out of Las Vegas, so we have the same squad at this stage to play Wellington, which is good. We want to try and improve on our... we finished sixth in Las Vegas. We want to try to improve this weekend, and we've been working hard on those areas we think that we need to improve on.
O'Connor last guided Australia to victory in Wellington 13 years ago. They could again be denied a win this weekend after being drawn in a tough pool with Samoa, Kenya and Tonga.
Tournament with a lot of optimism and hope that we can win it. But I do believe that we'll improve from last week and we'll put in a good performance this weekend.
The reigning champions of the Wellington Sevens, England, are looking for something of a fresh start this weekend. The side, heading for their training run at Porirua Park earlier today, will try to go a notch up despite not having a good season so far. England currently lies in fourth place in the overall standings.
It's always wonderful to come here in Wellington, particularly when the weather's as wonderful as this. And the guys have trained very, very hard, but we know it's going to be an incredibly difficult tournament. So many teams are playing well right now in the series, and we've got to step up our game quite a fair bit to be in contention.
England will line up against series leaders South Africa, Wales and Portugal in Pool A. The side is having high hopes of defending their title this weekend.
The guys want to go out and perform every single time they play for their country and want to try and win, but that's the same for every nation on the series, and there's so many talented teams out there right now and the game is so close. Bounce of the ball or one decision here or there can decide a game. So we've got to work very, very hard, but it's going to be a tough competition.
And Chelsea have ruined Manchester City's chances of going top of the English Premier League. Branislav Ivanovic scored the only goal as they ended Man City's Premier League home run with a 1-0 victory this morning. Meanwhile, back home, National League table toppers Suva face Lautoka in the fourth round this weekend. Nadranga, who lost to Nandi last weekend, have the toughest draw at Lawanga Park, having to host Mba. Navua will be after their first win when they face Nandi. our budding athletes will rub shoulders again this weekend before the final squad is named for the Youth Olympics qualifying championships. Athletics Fiji training squad will undergo the final time trial on Saturday at the ANZ Stadium. It's the third time trial for the 20 athletes.
And we're really looking forward to them claiming a spot in a coming qualifying championship that will be held in Sydney in March.
And Mervyn Nambuka will become the first Itauke to umpire at Cricket Australia's Impaja Cup. Held in Central Australia's Alice Springs, the Impaja Cup is Australia's national Indigenous cricket tournament. Mervyn has been selected to umpire as a part of the ICC's East Asia Pacific Region's Umpire Scholarship Program. He will be one of the 2 umpires from the EAP region officiating at the event. The Impaja Cup will run from February 9th to 15th, with Mervyn returning to Fiji on the 17th. And Seattle Seahawks fans celebrated their team's first Super Bowl victory in the franchise history. Seattle dominated from the beginning of the big game and never looked back. In the end, they stomped over the Denver Broncos 43-8 as Seattle fans went wild.
It hits you, and I mean, even with the lead, you got to wait till it hits all those zeros for it to try to hit you. And then you go around and start pointing at people like, hey, you're a champion.
Super Bowl champions, that is. Seahawk fans in MetLife Stadium in East Rutherford, New Jersey chanted, screamed, and waved flags with the Seattle green and navy colors when the Seahawks triumphed over the Broncos Sunday night. They watched as their team was presented with the coveted silver Vince Lombardi trophy. The team hoisted the trophy high into the air and passed it around as green and navy confetti rained down on the field. In Denver, fans watched in misery as the Broncos went down in flames. Back in Seattle, the town went wild. The city's iconic Space Needle glowed with the Seahawk colors. Fireworks shot out of the top of the needle after the Seahawks won. Seahawks, Seahawks, Seahawks. On the ground, fans spilled into the streets, cheering and chanting, the excitement vibrating throughout the city.
Awesome. Greatest day ever. Yeah? Yeah. Huh, buddy? Uh-huh. Oh, we were going nuts, running up and down the house. We had to come down to visit with all the other 12s, see the championship. I can't believe it. Thought it would never come. We've had such bad Seattle luck, but it's all turned now for the Seahawks.
But the celebration got a little out of control. Crowds set a fire in the street, tossing a couch onto the flames at one point. Firefighters responded, quickly dousing the blaze. The party went on into the wee hours of the morning.
And that Seahawks celebration wraps up our news for tonight. Really, I'll hand it back to you.
That celebration's going to last a lifetime, trust me. Thanks, Drew. Stay with us with World News after the break.